Wasatch County's Strawberry Reservoir is a popular fishing spot, but there's more beneath its surface than just salmon and trout. It's become a watery graveyard. Tonight, ABC4's Rick Aaron tells us that some of the reservoir's drowning victims disappeared years ago, and others have been disappeared forever.
Strawberry Reservoir has seen more than its share of tragedy over the years, and compounding the heartbreak for the victims' friends and family is the mystery. Because in its deep, cold waters, what goes down doesn't come up. Reporters and cameras along the shores usually mean another accident has claimed lives. Last July, a passerby noticed a boat drifting with no one on board, setting off a desperate search. 3 days later, crews found the bodies of 70-year-old Jim Gardner and his 61-year-old brother Mark submerged under the frigid water.
When water temperatures are that cold, the victims unfortunately have a tendency to, that water temperature keeps them down. That's what happens. The bodies don't tend to rise.
The reservoir is actually a flooded canyon at 7,612 feet of elevation. That altitude means sudden pop-up storms and strong winds funneling through the surrounding mountains.
The water spouts come down and get sucked up out of here, and within a minute it was 60-mile-an-hour winds, hail, lightning.
Those types of winds likely capsized the canoe of 24-year-old Benjamin McGallis and 26-year-old Chenoa Plank, who drowned here on November 12th of 2018. And 12 years earlier, they nearly killed Kimball Roundy, who was fishing in the middle of the reservoir with his brother Stephen, his sister-in-law Catherine, and his friend Michael New on November 8th, 2006, when waves began filling their boat with water.
It was just literally just like you put a cup and go like that under the water, and it just, and the boat disappeared, just right out from under us. It doesn't feel cold, it feels like it's burning hot. And so you hit this water, your breath goes out.
Kimball says they grabbed onto some floating life jackets and a gas can. Stephen and Catherine tried to swim into the waves towards Strawberry Bay Marina. Kimball and Michael decided to go the opposite direction.
The last exchange I had with my brother was me saying, we need to go this way, and him saying, you think? And I was like, yeah, we're going this way, or I'm going this way. He went the other way.
Kimball says he and Michael prayed and swam for 2 agonizing miles before reaching the shore.
Yeah, I should have been dead in 41-degree water within 30 minutes. 41-degree water, 2.5 hours. Nobody lives through that unless it's divine intervention, in my opinion.
Roundy says another miracle occurred a few days later while crews searching for Stephen and Catherine located a body using sonar equipment.
And then word comes back that it wasn't them. It was just this heartbreaking yet amazing closure for another family, but this heartbreaking feeling that, what do you mean it's not them? And it happens again, and it was 5, I think.
It was actually 4. 46-year-old Drake McMillan of Salt Lake City, who drowned August 31st, 2001, plus Philip Shepard, Austin Lloyd, and Daniel Maycock of Spanish Fork, who disappeared during a fishing trip on September 23, 1995. Cameron Phillips, operator of Strawberry Bay Recreation, says amazingly, after 11 years, their bodies were intact.
There's not enough oxygen down there to allow a body to decompose fully. And so they remain. There's nothing living organisms-wise that's down there that would consume them. Once they realized that those bodies weren't decomposing the way that we kind of expected they would, they kept looking and were able to locate pretty much everybody that had gone in Strawberry and not been found.
On November 17, 2006, 9 days after the accident, crews recovered Stephen and Catherine Roundy.
Yes, it was tragic that my brother died and that his wife died. But at the same time, it was beautiful that they died together.
Nearly 4 years later, on Memorial Day of 2010, 26-year-old Christopher Tyler Barton of West Valley City fell overboard and drowned near Soldier Creek, where Phillips says his body remains nearly 300 feet below the surface.
And we know where it's at, but we haven't, the search and rescue crews in Wasatch County haven't been able to recover because of his location. very deep, and he's kind of pinned between a rock and a fence post in a weird angle, and so the robots that can go down there because of the elevation aren't able to free him.
Captain Cam Kohler of the Wasatch County Search and Rescue Team says there's no telling exactly how many bodies are still in Strawberry, but he personally knows of one other in addition to Christopher Tyler Barton, and their final resting place will likely be there somewhere on the reservoir's rocky bottom. Rick Aaron, ABC4 News.